Folks, welcome to So Bad It's Good. This is your pal Ryan, and this is your Thursday episode. We're doing a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap. We get to see Reba again in this episode, and then we have one of the weirdest hangs at Doute's house where Kathy Hilton shows up. Guys, it was just a weird episode. Erica eats a hot dog, if that tells you anything that you need to know. And really, I'm telling you, I'll just say it right out. Beverly Hills ladies need to pay attention to the Salt Lake women. I mean, the Salt Lake women are trouncing the Beverly Hills women. I mean, come on. At parts of this episode, I was like, pick it up, ladies. You're in a scene with each other. I mean, that conversation with Doute and Kyle when they were sitting out there on the patio furniture, like Garcelle's kicking back, Erica's kicking back. I'm like, earn a paycheck, please. How are you guys doing? How are we doing? Planes are falling out of the sky still. All these plane accidents. We still don't have any kind of information about the drones in Jersey. Remember those from 2024? We never got answers on those. How am I expected to pay attention to reality shows and pop culture if I don't have the answers on the planes and the drones? Oh, goodness. Life is getting in the way of enjoying pop culture. And yes, I do know Blake Lively did amend her complaint at like 11:59 p.m. last night. And I was really upset because I was just finishing last night's episode, which, by the way, go check that out. Really interesting conversation with Jason Waller from The Hills about his sobriety journey. And I got to say, I thank you guys for letting me, like, I know you show up for like these recaps and the pop culture roundup, but I really appreciate the people that listen to this in the interviews, because that's where a lot of my passion lies. Is just being able to talk to new people and getting to hear their stories. So thank you for allowing me to do that. It's so cool that you guys will kind of go with me anywhere I go and anybody I talk to. So I don't take that lightly. So thank you. But she amended this complaint, and I was putting the podcast to bed, and I was like, do I just fire up the old pod and start doing this again and talk about this? But then I was like, no. These kids are going to be fighting for the next year, and I need to sleep. And that's called growth, folks. That is called growth. So we will do some sort of Blake Lively Baldoni update in the next week, where we'll go over that amended complaint. I was talking to a lawyer today, actually, for an upcoming show, and she was telling me 90% of cases settle. And I did not know that. I was like, whoa, is that true? 90% of cases? Because she was like, there's no way this will actually make it to trial. But I just don't see how Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are going to want to part with $400 million and admit they were wrong in any sense of that. And also, I'm just so curious. I still can't grasp. I don't know. It's such a weird case that I'm still trying to get clarification. And I've been making the mistake. I made the mistake initially with just like believing Blake Lively completely. And then Justin Baldoni, I was like, wow, this is answering all of these questions that Blake Lively put out there. But I don't want to just go down there and say, oh, Baldoni's 100% right, because there's more to the story. So I was going through the amended complaint. I was seeing that there were two other people that Justin Baldoni made feel uncomfortable, which is such a weird word, uncomfortable, because I feel uncomfortable literally every day of my life. So it's such an interesting, weird word to put in this amended complaint. So I'm curious what that means directly. And if there are formal complaints filed, I believe Sony is saying there is not. I don't know. I want to know who is telling the truth. I do believe two things can be true at once, but this just seems like such a mess. And I don't know, like, listen, at the end of the day, I'm not a lawyer. At the end of the day, like, I can talk until my breath is completely out of my body, and I do that most every day on this show, and I still will not be a lawyer. I still, and I don't mean it's just full of hot air, but there's only so far my understanding can go of this. Where I'm almost like, yep, guess we're going to have to go to trial. I want to see what you lawyers do with this thing. Yeah, televise it. Televise it if you need to. Maybe that's how we can make some money back. We televise and do it like a pay-per-view with these court proceedings. So that obviously happened. That obviously happened last night. So people have been talking about that today. And then tonight, we had the brand new episode of Summer House, which we'll be recapping on Friday's episode. And then tonight, we have Southern Charm and Southern Hospitality. I've watched the new episode of Southern Hospitality already. Really good. I just love this season. It is so innocuous in the best way. And Southern Charm, I have not been able to watch yet, but we will talk about this on Friday's episode as well. Did you see that Shep's ex-girlfriend, the girl from the Bahamas, is making TikToks and she's talking about meeting Whitney on Raya, the dating app, and saying that Whitney was a catfish because he didn't look like anything like his photos, which I was like, touche. Touche, lady. That is good. But it's interesting. You know, these reality shows, you know, we talk about this. They're real, but they're also produced. There's a marriage between the two. You know, this isn't documentary filmmaking where the camera just happens to capture these magical moments. These are produced. It is based in reality, but you have to get to that place where they know the cameras are going to be up. They know who's in the scene. It's lit beautifully. And that thing takes a lot of work. A lot of people work on these shows. So I don't consider these shows being fake, but I do consider these shows being produced. And I think there's a huge difference between fake and produced. And I think we want these shows to be produced. It would be so boring and bad if these shows weren't produced. Are you guys excited for the Potomac reunion on Sunday? I watched the first part. I really liked it. The second part, should I tease this at all? Should I tease it? Have you been watching Potomac? Okay. Well, you know Stassi, the first season on Potomac? Do you know her love interest / buddy friend, TJ? And how that's very weird. And there's something with TJ that comes out at this second part of the reunion. I might have spent over an hour on the phone with TJ last night. Randomly. Out of nowhere. So I'm very interested to see this second part of the Potomac reunion. And you might be hearing from TJ on this show a little bit more about his story, which I am very interested for you guys to hear. We'll see what happens. Sorry to tease that out. If you watch Potomac, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So Summer House tonight. I can't wait to do the scene with Wes and Sierra. Sierra, man, you can tell she's coming fresh off the Traders. Like she's holding Wes's feet to the fire. They're at like a family dinner I love that they call these family dinners when all of these people have thrown each other under the bus for years. It's like how Sutton calls these ladies a sisterhood. Like, what are you talking about, a sisterhood? You literally shit over each other like every scene. You like throw each under the bus, but you're a sisterhood? Anyway, Sierra's at this dinner table with Wes, and she's like, yo, you couldn't be man enough at the reunion to tell me how you feel. You had to do it in the New York Times. I had to find out without you telling me. Why don't we have that conversation here? And he's like, oh, okay, all right, okay. And he's just looking down. And the funny thing is, you know this guy loves to talk. I watch his TikToks. He finds himself very charming, and he is funny. Like I do like Wes, you know, overall. But he's like, oh, okay. Do you want to have a talk in the other room? And Kyle, God bless Kyle. Kyle is a born producer. He's like, no, I would really like to hear that conversation here. And Wes remains silent the entire scene. And Kyle and Jesse have to pull him aside and going, hey, dude, that's not going to fly. And they're saying it as his buddy, but Kyle is kind of saying it like that's not going to fly on the TV show. And also Carl and Lindsay, watching it, I had major tension in my bowel area. I was so nervous for Carl because Lindsay, you gotta love Lindsay. Lindsay is made for reality television. Lindsay, I think, did an interview this past week where she said that Bravo is trying to find a way to figure out where, like, to place her somewhere. I don't know if that means in Roni. I don't know if that continues Summer House, but like, I think Lindsay is what we call a reality television star. And I mean that as a compliment, But man, oh man, would I never want to make Lindsay mad. Oh, and I got to tell you, I want to do that recap tomorrow because I got some words for Gabby too. There was one thing Gabby said that really stuck in my craw overnight where I was like, no, 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 no. Okay, slow your roll, slow your roll. But that's coming up on Friday and we'll talk a little Southern Charm as well. Thank you for being here. Like I said, if you take a minute, rate this podcast 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Hello to the baddies over there on Patreon. We're doing a Q&A episode right now, so get your questions in. Next Thursday, I believe it's 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going live on the Patreon, and it's always so much fun for that hour. We talk about anything that you want to talk about. It is very high energy, and I always have a really good time. So just party. Like we need to just get together and party. Also, what up, chumps? I got added finally to ChumpCon in Vegas. I believe it's April 11th through the 13th. I know they were waiting to sell more tickets before I got added on. Jeff called me this afternoon. I got officially added to ChumpCon, so let's party, baby. I'm really excited. You know, it's so funny. I always talk about this with Jeff because people have such strong opinions of him, and I've had such a great experience. And like I always tell people, I've been asked about this so many times. If I don't get asked back to the show next week, like I had a really, it has been such a fun run over there. And I've made so many good friends. Justin Martindale, Doug Buden, Shane. There's not like Jameson. They're all so great. I mean, I think I really do just love being a part of a group because doing this, I just talk to people over like Zoom or StreamYard. And it is so fun to go somewhere once a week where you get to be around actual live human beings and just like make fun of each other. And so this thing in Vegas, it's like Coachella mixed with Firefest, mixed with BravoCon, and it's the first one ever. And there's all these events, like there's a karaoke party, there's a pool party that Joey Zalzig's doing, Doug Buden's doing a brunch, and Doug's gonna knock that out of the park. There's a live show that I'll be a part of. There's all of these events. I've said this before, I don't know how my liver is gonna handle it. I'm very nervous for the pool party as well because I do not like to take my shirt off. In fact, I'll probably wear 3 shirts to the pool party, or maybe I'll wear 3 shirts the whole weekend and I'll take 1 shirt off at the pool party so I feel like a wild man. Who knows? But get your tickets to ChumpCon. I think some parts of it are sold out, but there are a lot of tickets. And I know it is expensive, you guys, but I think it's going to be worth it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not just saying that because I'm going. I was going to say, I think I said on the show a couple weeks ago that it was going to be a blast. And I knew that I probably was on the bubble of going, but I still would want to be there just because I do listen to that show every day. And but man, I'll tell you, chumps are amazing. That's what Jeff Lewis calls his listeners and what they call themselves. And I'm a chump as well. But I will tell you, sometimes, man, I was talking to my therapist about this today. Sometimes the negativity just hits you. Like the Instagram posts where you post with like the guests and stuff. Like sometimes you'll read the comments and you'll just be like, oh my God, I want to bash my head into a wall. It's like people feel free to just say whatever they want to about you or the other people on the show. And listen, I'm a sensitive soul. I have a big mouth, but I am a sensitive soul. And sometimes I'm just be like, and I was telling her, my therapist, we were talking about, I was like, man, I would love sometimes for the show to be even bigger than it is now, but maybe it's like kind of nice to just be right here and just never get bigger. So, cause I don't think I could handle more people talking shit about me. Does that make sense? Like I couldn't be a reality star. I couldn't be a reality star where somebody would do a Sutton imitation like I do of Sutton, but of me. Like, I'm Ryan Bailey, rah, 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 rah. I couldn't handle it. No. Do the opposite of sign me up. No. Oh, also tonight we have a new episode of The Traitors. Will Tom Sandoval do another episode where people consider liking him again? Guys, this has always been Tom. He's just a goof. I'm just so curious if he's going to win this thing or not, because I told you this week, he's the only one not to impress. What's that all about? But then somebody, I think in the Patreon maybe, or the Facebook group, said that they think it's because he was involved in a lawsuit with NBC Universal, potentially. Remember the Rachel Leviss lawsuit? And that's against Ariana and Tom, and I believe they were bringing NBC Universal into that. Maybe that has upset NBC Universal? I don't know. I'm confused. it'll be very interesting to see. Who do you think's going home tonight? I want Gabby to stay. I want Carolyn to stay. I want Danielle gone. We will not rewrite history and say Danielle's a great player on Traitors. She might have been an excellent player on Big Brother, but I'm sorry, not on the Traitors. I love it. Anyways, we got a job to do. Juliana Carroza, thank you. She took amazing notes for Beverly Hills again. She cracks me up. By the way, Juliana, if you're listening, at some point, she's got to start her own podcast. Because every week she gets she'll throw in these little comments that I'll be reading or reenacting, and I'll read a comment she wrote and I'll just start laughing internally. And then I don't share that with you guys. But she cracks me up. So thank you. I couldn't do this without you. And I hope you guys are okay. I think I already asked how you're doing, but I went to I thought it was my final appointment with the ENT for the sinus surgery, but now I guess I have one 6 weeks from now. But he said, everything's healing beautifully. He asked how my show was going, and I said, good. He's like, good. Tell him I said hi. I'm like, I will. And he stuck the big rod up my nose and nasal cavity. And so I still have a little bit of a pounding headache. But it was good. He said, everything healing beautifully. So that was nice. And then I did a bunch of interviews today. I worked out. I'm still getting my 10,000 steps in every day. I did my therapy. It takes a lot of work to barely be sane. I'm on the cusp of insanity. But I feel like we all are, right? We're just on the cusp. I wish this was a live call-in show sometimes, because I would just love to take calls and say, just hit me with whatever questions you have. Okay, I guess we have to start. Yeah, we've done 16 minutes. Let's start into this Beverly Hills recap. This is entitled, sorry, I'm already just stupid. It's always a good sign if I stupid giggle. This is episode 12, season 14. It's called Land of the Free, Home of the Shade. Land of the Free, Home of the Shade. Because this takes place over the 4th of July. And I was like, oh no, is Beverly Hills getting political? Which would be amazing. Remember that one Roni season where it was when 2016 with the election with Trump? Remember that? Oh my God, Carol and Ramona. It was such an insane episode. The description the cable company gives us says, Sutton gets what she needs from her mom. Bose discusses her fears about having a child. Doute tries to lift her spirits by hosting a July 4th BBQ. After a teary storm out, Kyle and Garcelle are forced to pick sides. So that's the description the cable company gives us. Now, if you listen every week, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was talking about Bose because her friend Tina, she mentions in one of the scenes, and I said, God, she looks like this Tina I used to work with at this spa I worked with when I was first moved to LA. And I was like, that couldn't be her. And then last night they had a full scene with Tina, and it is the Tina that I worked with at Burke Williams or at the spa. That is, and I reached out to Tina. I was like, Tina, are you on Housewives right now? And I haven't talked to Tina in a decade plus. And she was like, is this Ryan Bailey? Oh my God. I was like, what are you doing on Housewives? And she is like Bose's real friend. And she's like, yeah, I popped up a couple of times. So that made my heart feel so good because Tina, man, working at Burke Williams or this spa I worked at, she had the funniest sense of humor. And she was so good with clients. And it was we had to wear suits. We had a front desk with suits and nice outfits. And she just made me laugh so much. So it felt so good to see her. You know, that thing as you get older and then you reconnect with somebody from a whole different life, 2 lifetimes ago. And you're like, oh my God, it looks like you're doing good. And then I was like, don't trust PK. No, we didn't talk anything about the show at all. I was just more excited to reconnect with her. So I wanted to share that with you. Maybe I'll ask her to be on the show. She doesn't care about stuff like this. So it cracks me up that she is on the Housewives. But I want her to get in the mat. I was like, hey, if you need me to teach you about the weaknesses of any of these ladies, I am happy to do it. We have the scenes from previous episodes. Previously on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we have Doute telling Erica and Bose, "You guys, I spoke to PK, my bloated, fat, alcoholic husband. He answers the phone and we start talking like we're friends." And Erica in a talking head says,
"I wouldn't trust PK. He's ruthless in business, which means he will be ruthless in the business of divorce."
Oh, reminder, guys, I do voices. Sometimes you like them. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you find them annoying. If you find them annoying and you don't like them, listen to the interview podcast, the Pop Culture Roundup, the Traders Recap, all of those. But I'm going to be goofy and silly. I just wanted to let you know that up top because I'm going to blow off steam by being really loud, okay? And we also have a scene at Kyle's Denim and Diamonds party, and Sutton's like, "You're angry and you're not angry at me. You're angry at your life, I say. And Garcelle's like, "Oh." And then a scene at Erica's Viper Room event, we have Doute to Sutton going, "Why would you think of calling the person who's actually kicking you while you're down?" And Sutton's yelling, "Forget it. We aren't friends, I say, and forget it." And then at Kathy's Capri dinner a couple episodes ago, Bose says, "You know your sister really well, Kathy, and I assumed she was open and welcoming. I find her to be cold." Woo! And then cut to Augusta, Georgia, where Garcelle is saying to Reba, Sutton's mom, saying, Sutton and I have had intimate conversations, and she would just love to hear you love her too. And Reba's like, "I don't think that's any of your business. I don't." And then the scene we saw last week, Sutton to her mom going, "I don't think it's right to tell your children that you love them, I say. And Reba says, "I don't need to." Because she's like, "I don't need to tell you I love you." Ooh, intense stuff. I thought that was it for Reba last week, but we open up in Augusta, Georgia again, and we got Reba back with us. I got to tell you, like, Reba is such, she's that old South vibe, and she's growing on me, but it's just, the family trauma, you can smell it across the TV screen. You're just like, "Ooh, what is that? What is that? What am I smelling? Family trauma." That's what that is. And she's just so stubborn. God, she reminds me of my grandma Davis, rest in peace. And you can totally see why Sutton is the way she is. And you can see also Sutton trying to escape those family patterns, but sometimes being able to escape it and sometimes leaning into it and being really mean and off-putting at times. I think Sutton is going to have a potentially bad last half of this season, and we will see, but I feel like that is almost maybe a regression after visiting her mother. Sometimes when you go and visit family, sometimes it's great for you and sometimes it's bad, and you just regress. You're like, "Oh, I feel like I'm back in high school," right? So we open up with the women in Augusta. They're packing to leave. And, Garcelle is talking to Sutton. She's like, "Junebug, where am I going to put these? Can you help? I don't like this view." And Sutton's bending over to pack. "What view, Garcelle?" And Garcelle's like, "Your ass in my face." Woo! Yeah. And now in LA, we have Erica getting furniture delivered with a large truck from Harbor Modern Outdoor and Indoor Living outside her house with moving men bringing stuff inside. Now, I was very disappointed because I thought we were going to get Martin, the designer, who is my favorite new character on reality television. "I'm Martin. We're going to do design work. We're going to make this the sexiest place ever. We're going to fuck in your pool. There's going to be orgies nonstop, Erica. We're going to get those holes filled." But we don't have him this scene. We just have some men moving, and Erica's checking out the new patio furniture and very excited. And then we round robin over to Doute's house where she's making a FaceTime call to Bose. Do you remember Housewives before FaceTime was invented? It was a different time. You had to be there. And Doute's like, "Here she is, it's Bose." And Bose is like, "Hello, 4th of July is around the corner and my kids and I always do a BBQ. And Bose is like, "Americana." And Doute's like, "Americana. I'll see you at the party, Doute. I'll see you at the party." Meanwhile, in the kitchen in Augusta, we have Sutton talking to Avi, her, house assistant or whatever his title is. "Oh, we got to get these drawers cleaned out, Avi." And Garcelle's like, "Are you good? Are you good?" Kyle is flapping herself with her shirt. She's like, "I'm still sweating, even after a cold shower. Every time I think of Morgan, I'm still sweating. I can't stop sweating." In the background, we see Reba kind of creeping in from the back, because remember, she lives in the backyard, in a little house in the backyard. And Kyle's like, Sutton, we have a little confession. And Sutton's like, what? And Garcelle goes, we were listening to your conversation with Reba. Now, all the while, remember, Reba's sneaking in, kind of listening to this conversation. We flash back to Sutton's conversation with her mom from last week. And Reba's like, I might come to California, Sutton. I think I could do that. And Sutton's like, well, I got to bring my friends down. Excuse me, Mom. And she goes to get Kyle and Garcelle, and she sees that they've been eavesdropping. She's like, oh, you rascals. So I didn't understand this, where Kyle says, we have a confession, we were eavesdropping, when I'm like, yeah, we saw that last week, and Sutton saw it last week. This felt really weirdly forced. Garcelle now, in this present day scene, not knowing that Reba is within earshot, Garcelle goes, well, it sounded like you got everything out with your mother. And Sutton's like, yeah, it was good. And Garcelle goes, which is good? And then Reba's standing there. She goes, mm-hmm, uh-huh. And Kyle gasps. Garcelle, embarrassed, goes, oh, hello, Miss Thing. I don't think Reba likes to be called Miss Thing. Don't call me Miss Thing. Who are you? Get out of my house. Sutton goes, well, Reba, there she appears. Garcelle goes, good morning. How are you, Reba? I'm fine. And how are you? Garcelle goes, we were just confessing. Yeah, you're chatty this morning. I don't like it. Garcelle chuckles, I am chatty this morning. Reba goes, I thought y'all weren't leaving until 2:30. Sutton in a talking head says, well, this trip has been emotional, but it's a hard trip to leave, I say. I don't think I've felt this way with my mother since my sophomore year in college, when she came for sophomore Mother's Weekend and we had the best time talking and walking. I remember I didn't want her to leave then either, so this is reminding me a lot of that. Kyle says, are you going to be happy to have the chaos gone? And she makes a sweeping motion referring to like the production and the camera, which, remember, Reba had to agree to be on film. Garcelle says, are you going to cry that you're going to miss us, especially me, Reba? And Reba's like, I will be sad that some of you are gone. Not you. No. Sutton goes, well, she's such a cynic. Reba goes, oh, are y'all packed? And Sutton's like, yeah. Are you packed, Kyle? I am packed. I'm ready to head to the airport. Kyle in a talking head says, normally by the end of the trip, I can't wait to get home, but I'm going home to an empty house. Womp, womp. And that's lonely for me. I'm like ready to ask ourselves, hey, Sutton, hey, do you want to extend the trip? But heading home, me, myself, and I, and the 800 dogs that I've adopted in this last year. Call me Dr. Kyle Doolittle. No, do you realize, like, this is Kyle's storyline this season? I'm alone in this house. Every episode, I'm alone in this house of riches. I'm alone. That's her whole storyline. It's that and fighting with Doute. But, like, they always have to present, like, their storyline for the season to the producers, right? And it feels like Kyle's like, what if I'm alone? Just alone. Just me and my hats. What if that's the story? That's my story. So I feel like she overdoes it in every talking head of like, dude, she didn't try to extend the trip. She didn't even think about extending the trip. Are you kidding me? Also, Kyle has a buttload of friends that we never see on this show. Sutton goes, well, I love that y'all got to meet my mother and it was a good trip. And Garcelle says, it was a great trip. Thank you, Reba. Well, I loved our talk, Mom. Oh, good. Well, I'm going to hold you to once a year. You get to say I love you. And Reba's like, when is that going to be? Well, I guess Christmas, Mom. That should be, well, maybe I might write it down and hold a little sign up. I don't remember my mother saying that to me. And Son goes, okay, well, I love you. And Reba goes, well, I love you too, Sutton. And Garcelle makes a big deal and shakes Reba in happiness. Reba's like, get your fucking hands off me. Kyle goes, oh, that's so cute. She also gives her a hug. And Garcelle goes, we love you, Reba. Sutton in the talking head says, well, she said it. I have succeeded in hearing the 3 words I think I've ever wanted to hear from one person. I love you. And then Sutton says, okay, let's go before she takes it back. Oh, in a talking head, Sutton says, I am overjoyed, overwhelmed, and feel completely loved. Zippity-doo-dah. They gather up to go, and Kyle just goes, "Thank you for everything, Reba." Wouldn't it be great if Reba was like, "Tell your friend Morgan I said hello. Wink." Garcelle in a talking head goes, "We take it for granted. 3 little words. But some people never hear it. This is why we came. We didn't think we were going to get it, but this is what made the trip." This talking head was very Sarah McLachlan for the ASPCA. "For just $5 a month, you can provide shelter and food for 30 dogs that Kyle will eventually adopt. In the arms of the angel." Yeah, my family was always one of those families that did say, we would always throw in the I love you. I love you. Okay, I love you. And we do it over text still too. Like me and my dad will text, "I love you." "What are you wearing? I love you." But no, we always did the I love yous. That was never our issue at all. It was that my dad was a serial killer. That was our big thing. No, it is interesting to hear people that have stories. Like, this is an actual thing that a lot of people deal with, right? And for me, I felt like that was, what was interesting was that my parents, their parents, they weren't big with I love yous growing up, they would always say. And I think that's probably why it was always said around my house, which I thought was interesting. So the ladies load up in the car. They say their bye-byes, and we return to Los Angeles, Hancock Park, to Bose's house. And Bose, this is where my friend Tina is in this scene. And they are talking, like, you can tell they're good friends. Bose in a talking head says, "In some ways, I say Tina is closer to me than even my sisters are. We are 10 months apart in age, so we are very, very close. Tina and I talked so much that sometimes we talk telepathically." By the way, Bose, if this is true, we need to study Bose. This is like X-Men shit. The government is going to come for you, Bose. If we figure out that you have the gift of telepathy, this is going to be used against you. So I would not talk about it on Beverly Hills. She says it can be by text. It could be by phone call. It could just be a mind meld. They're just talking about these gold flakes that she has to put in her fruity drinks. And Bose wants to talk to her about Keely. She's like, "Girl, let me get comfortable. I don't even know where to start. Look, there's so much on my mind. I mean, so many things have been happening because I'm a mature woman. You would assume like that I have to get checked out to see if I'm still viable to be able to carry a baby and Keely's ready, right?" And we have that flashback, remember, to them talking about having this child, even though they have not said I love you to each other. Bo says, "We haven't met with the fertility doctor yet." And Tina's like, "But she's in Vegas, right?" And Bo's is like, "Yeah." And so she's flying here. She wants to do an ultrasound and she wants him to give samples. Why is the fertility doctor in Vegas? Is it just like the best fertility doctor out there? That's interesting. Anyways, she wants him to give samples. And Tina's like, "All his samples?" Woo! And Buzz is like, "Yeah, all kinds of samples." And Tina's like, "All the samples?" And she's like, "Yeah, every sample. And Buzz is like, "Yeah, drip, drop, sample, sample." Oh, a jizz in a cup, yeah, yeah. Bo says this pregnancy journey was in theory and now it's reality. If I'm going to get some needles poked into me, that makes it very, very real. I was really excited, but now I'm nervous. I feel scared. What if we don't get the results we want? See, this is what I'm saying. Bose brings a level of, fabulousness, yes, but there's also, it's a first season, so you're getting like real storylines out of her. She's talking about having a child. She's not talking about like Keely fucking left me in London and the kids, and he's not talking to any of there's not this, it's like more grounded. Do you see, do you guys feel that as well? Anyways, Tina says, "Well, what is Keely saying about all this? Like, how does he feel?" And Bo says, "I don't know whether or not we are both kind of on the ride and no one wants to say, 'Hey, we can stop for a second.'" Oh my God. Tina's like, "Yeah, get off this train." Bo says, "Because if I say it, I might hurt him. And maybe he feels like if he says it to me, then I'm going to be like, 'Oh, wait, but I thought that's what you wanted, right?'" I just already they're going to have a kid. His kid's going to be 18 years old and they're going to be like, "Psych, we didn't even mean to do this. We just didn't ever get the train off the track." Tina says, "Are you starting to talk yourself out of the possibility of doing this? Like the more you think about it, it's becoming just so surreal." And Bose is like, "Yes, it is so, so scary." And Tina's like, "Yeah, it is." In a talking head, Bose says, "The experience of pregnancy has not been easy for me. I got pregnant unexpectedly with my first daughter named Eve 5 months into my pregnancy, I discovered I had early stages of preeclampsia, a disease that creates high blood pressure and starts to attack your pregnancy. About 6.5 months, my blood pressure started to spike. By the time I arrived at the hospital, there was a team waiting at the front, and they put me in a wheelchair and they wheeled me into labor and delivery. My baby didn't survive. 2 months after I lost Eve, I decided that I was meant to be a mother and I wanted to have another baby. She says my pregnancy with Lael was horrific because every single appointment was terror. I would have to squeeze Peter's hand, who was her ex, who passed away, because she's like, what if? I am 15 years older than the last time that I had this issue. I need some assurances. I don't know how to get that. While it's exciting and hopeful to think about having a baby with Keely, I can't help but to go right back to those days where I was scared to death every single day of my pregnancy. And Tina says, to be on this journey with this man is both of you saying yes to whatever may come, but one step at a time. And Bose is like, I know. Tina is a good friend, man. This is the Tina I remember, being a good ear to listen and really always good advice. But what a story. And it really shows you the triumph of the human spirit, right? Is that she lost her child. And then instead of, because obviously she will hold that in her heart for the rest of her life, but it didn't turn her off completely. She was like, no, this is what it is, almost in honor of Eve. You're like, no, I am meant to be a mother. I'm meant to do this. And I think that has probably helped her in her life. That kind of determination you do not see in a lot of people. People get knocked down and most people don't get back up. And Bose seems like somebody that always gets back up. And that's why it's going to be interesting. Like I keep saying, like we're starting to see little flourishes of like, why do you care if I'm friends with Doute, Kyle? We're starting to get little things like that, but we have not seen full-blown Bose yet. Like who knows what full-blown Bose looks like? Maybe there isn't a full-blown Bose. Maybe she always keeps it cool. We haven't seen Bose drunk. We haven't seen Bose, so who knows? Like the world is full of possibilities with Bose. So we have another round robin of scenes with all of the ladies. I wonder if anytime in reality TV, they're almost getting bored with the format sometimes of like, okay, and then we put the round robin with all the ladies. And like, you could like cut and paste an episode at this point. Like even us at home, we know how to make these. Like you either start the season with like the end of the season and then you're like, 7 months later. And then you do a big scene that's dramatic. And then it's like, start at the beginning of the season, 7 months prior. Like, and then you do like your round robin scene, catching up all the ladies. Then you dip into like the main housewives house. Does the first setup for a storyline. And then you have A, B, and C storylines for each episode. You do 2 round robins per episode. You have to have 1 event per episode. Like these things now we all pay attention to and we can all kind of piece them together in our head. But I wonder if there's any reality producers out there going, we're going to break the format entirely. We're doing an entire episode just told in flashbacks. Yes, we're totally changing or like adding voiceover. Like there's got to be somebody out there wanting to shake this shit up a little bit. Who knows? It's not going to be me. Also, I'm wearing my Kathy Hilton, Who is Hunky Dory sweatshirt. I pulled this out. I believe this is a Christian Gray Snow original. He makes great shirts and hoodies. And I thought since Kathy was in this, I was like, I need to honor Kathy. Oh my God, I thought this sweatshirt was Kyle. I just thought of something. Do you think when Sutton's gone from the main house, does Reba just stay in the main house instead of the smaller outdoor house? Like, this is my house now that Sutton's gone. And she gets in her undies like Tom Cruise in Risky Business. Dun, 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 dun. Just take those old records off the shelf. Yeah, it's my house. Woo! Yeah, she probably just uses the main house, right? Anyways, we start this round robin of all the ladies. We're at Kyle's house first. Hey, Siri, I'm totally alone. I'm lonely. How hot is it going to be today? The National Weather Service has issued an excessive heat warning. Daytime temperatures will hover around 94 degrees, just as hot as Morgan Wade in a Mumford & Sons hat. Which, by the way, Kyle's wearing one of her Kimosabi hats, and she makes like a Zoiks face when she hears the weather. It's like, whoa! At Sutton's house, Sutton's getting glam. And she's like, I'm going to Doute's house. She's having a 4th of July BBQ party. And the glam's like, that should be fun. BBQ, chill. If you're glam, you just have to agree with everything anybody you're glamming says. And Sutton's like, we're playing nice, me and Doute. It's 4th of July, I say, let's do it for our country. Yeah, let's be nice to Doute for our country. That's the most pressing concern. And the glam goes, there you go, for America. Over at Erica's newly furnished pool house, she answers a FaceTime call from Kyle. She's like,
are you excited for today?
And Kyle goes, I don't know if excited is the word.
Well, I hope you find some time to connect with Bose today in your own way.
And Kyle's like, what was it she said to Kathy and everybody?
You were kind of cold to her.
And they flash back to Kathy's, remember the Capri party, and we already did, saying Bose said that Kyle was cold. Kyle on the phone goes, because I'm cold?
Yeah, well, you know what? Now, you're the iceberg.
I'm the iceberg?
No, because I'm the ice queen. I thought you could be an iceberg. I'm Erica Jane, and we can, hang out together.
And Kyle's like, okay, I'll see you soon. I love that Erica is all in a good mood because she has new furniture on the outside. She's all bubbly because she has possessions. Now over at Doute's house, she's overseeing the caterer setting up the bar and backyard toys for the kids. And Doute's like, oh, you guys, it looks gorgeous. Beep, boop, bop, beep, boop, boop, boop. Her daughter, Phoenix, her kids are awesome, comes out in her blue and white striped Versace bikini. Versace bikini, my goodness. And Dorit's like, see, the theme, red, white, and blue, my little pickle. Should we, my little Cornish hen, my little Vienna sausage, should we go out and see everything? Ooh, look, a slide. And Phoenix is like, ooh, I'm getting a snow cone. In a talking head, Dorit says, I've always made a big deal out of the holidays with the kids. 4th of July is no exception. Obviously, with what's going on with PK, we've not had a lot of joy and laughter in the house because he's a bloated alcoholic. That's what it feels the kids and I need, is fun. We celebrate every holiday. Columbus Day, check. Juneteenth, check. 4th of July, double check. Dorit's friend Isabel, her husband and child arrives. Dorit's continuing in the talking head, very long-winded. This year, PK's not here. And it definitely feels there's something missing. But I think that's why I want to be having fun with my friends, with my kids. And this way, I'm not thinking about how sad it is that my bloated alcoholic of a husband, PK, isn't here. Sutton arrives with a big bouquet of hydrangeas and walks inside. And she's like, oh, it smells good. Hello. I said, hello. I say, come on. In a talking head, she says, the idea that I would have people come to my house and I'm not there to greet them, or Avi's not there to greet them. I say, someone's not there. A roach isn't there to greet them. It just boggles my brain. Come on. Sutton is looking for things to be upset about in the first place. Now, I get it. It is wild because she's there for 40 minutes without Doute coming. But Sutton's making a point of it and just kind of just standing there, just I'm not going to move. I'm just going to stay right here till I get greeted. I'm just going to wait. Yeah. But you hear the voices in the backyard and she makes a point just to wait, right? Meanwhile, Doute is upstairs going, I'm just looking for a body chain and I don't want to leave people downstairs, but I do. I need a body chain. Come on, it's the 4th of July. How will I celebrate America if I don't have this body chain? They show Sutton still standing in the living room holding the flowers. Sutton to herself says, well, should I sit? What do I do? I've never been at a place where I never got greeted. What do you sit? What, can I eat? It's 1:22 p.m. At 1:27 p.m., Sutton to herself says, well, this is awkward. Still hearing the voices in the backyard she could go hang out with. It's now 1:30 p.m. Sutton is watching everyone in the backyard, goes, well, I don't know those people. I do not know. I'm not going to introduce myself, say I'm Sutton from Sutton Concepts. Now it's 1:35 p.m. and Sutton says, well, I really should study the California map right here. At 1:39 p.m., Sutton says, does Doute really think we're going to get up on that slide? This is why I like to be late. Yeah, then be late. Kyle gets dropped off next and goes inside to Sutton waiting. Sutton jumps up and dramatically gestures for her to come in. And Kyle's like, hi, I'm sorry I'm late. And Sutton's like, well, you look cute. Kyle stopping at the table at the entry with framed photos. There's a whole fucking table of just Doute and PK wedding photos and photos of their relationship. And say it with me, these should be in my reality show museum. Listen, if the relationship truly doesn't work out, they could part with one of those framed photos, right? If I pay for the frame, or what if I even let them keep the frame and I just take the photo and I get a cheap thing from Ross Dress for Less, one of their cheap frames. What if I do that? But I feel like there's so many framed photos that I could have one. That's not being greedy. If I just get one for the reality show museum. Kyle sees all of these photos and she's like, what is this? And Sutton's like, oh, I didn't even see. I've been here for 4 hours. I didn't even see this. And Kyle's like, why is this shrine here? And Sutton looks, oh my God, I didn't even see this. And Kyle's like, this is like an anniversary party. Oh, Kyle, stop it. Just because Mo took down all your, stop. Kyle in a talking head says, listen, I still have photos up of Mo and me, but not at a round table as you enter the house. I have them in my hope chest. No, she says, as you entered the home, I don't have that there. Like, oh, there's a shrine to PK. Seems a little strange, doesn't it? Kyle to Sutton says, have you said hi yet? Well, to whom? To Doute. Well, she's not down here. Upstairs, Doute is still trying. I need to put this body chain on. Oh, it's hard. I'm getting it over my hips. Kyle's putting on a button-up shirt going, can I wear this? I know it's hot and I'm feeling self-conscious. And Sutton's like, no, why? I don't know. I couldn't get a spray tan. But you know what I'm saying? Like already, if we were on an episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake, we would have already had 3 or 4 bizarre scenes. We would have had a fight, makeup. We would have had so much shit. And like here we have Sutton waiting around for 40 minutes. And then we're making fun of some framed photos. Doute's trying to put on a body chain. Come on, let's go. Anyways, Doute finally comes downstairs. Hello, guys. The time that Sutton had been waiting was 39 minutes. Kyle's hugging her. Hi, happy Independence Day. Oh, by the way, you're just as bad as me with the photos. This looks like a shrine. I thought it was a happy anniversary party. And Doute goes, oh, honestly, I haven't had a chance to touch anything. I didn't even think about it. Kyle just keeps on criticizing, blathering on. Sutton to the side is just being standoffish, like, I still have not been greeted officially. Come on. She mutters to herself, well, I'm just going to sit here and do the same thing I've been doing. Glad I could come. Can I leave now? God, she just wants to be uncomfortable. I love Sutton, and I just feel like, I don't want to say, it's been a long day. I don't want to say it. Has Sutton changed? Sutton, I want to believe the best in Sutton. Sutton in a talking head says, well, I come here in American peace, like Harry S. Truman. She's starting to wear on me. Yeah, Harry S. Truman was one of our presidents, but also obviously somebody that could have been on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But this is also where you see Reba, her mom. Like, this is fucking Reba. Like, this is a body switching film. Like, Sutton is probably back in Augusta in Reba's body, and Reba is in Sutton's body over at Doute's. Anyways, Doute's finishing up with Kyle. Thanks for making me look at it, Kyle. Doute's mom, Rachel, comes in from the backyard and greets Sutton. And it's like, you're so beautiful. And Sutton's like, oh, thank you. Yeah, where was Rachel, Doute's mom? Like, you could have been kissing Sutton's ass earlier to calm her down. Doute now hugs Sutton finally. She's like, thank you for coming. In a talking head, Doute says, seeing Kyle and Sutton, the first to arrive to the party, is a little bit awkward. They definitely weren't my first choice to arrive. But in the spirit of having fun today, that's exactly what I'm going to try to do. It's America. Kyle says, how cute is this bag of hers? Pointing to Sutton's expensive mini blue, I'm sure it's like, I don't know, what's a Ferrari purse? Sutton's like, well, we're bringing the red, white, and blue. Doute walking to Sutton and taking, her cute little bag. She's like, that's so kind of you. I'll just take this. Sutton smiles. You're always trying to take my things. That's Erica. Doute goes, you know what? I think you owe it to me. Well, I most certainly do not. And Doute goes, yes, you most certainly do. Nope, I'm good. No, you're not. Kyle's looking at them like a tennis match. Sutton doesn't know what to do. Doute's looking at Sutton and just seems really serious. Kyle in a talking head says, it's so uncomfortable. They both just stand there staring at each other. This is so stupid. Kyle goes, well, this is getting a little awkward. I'm going to get a little snack. And she heads to the backyard. Doute in a talking head says, even though today's all about fun, I can't ignore the tension between Sutton and I. Last time I saw Sutton, she interrupted me when I poured my heart out about Jagger. We had a flashback to a week ago. Remember this? Doute goes, so this morning, Jagger, he's like, are you and Daddy divorced? And Sutton goes, I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt. I think we need to get going because it does take us a while to get out there. And Doute's like, anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted, well, sorry, we got to get on the road. Doute finishes in a talking head. Honestly, I'd be prepared to forget about most things that Sutton has said or done to me if she just gives me this handbag. But that bitch has got a tight-ass grip. Woo! It would be so badass if Doute was just smoking in the house. We saw that one scene with the cigarette in the car, but what if she just is one of those people that just smokes in the house? She has like a cigarette going or two like all the time, and there's like just ashtrays everywhere. Garcelle arrives next, like, hey everybody, it's me, Garcelle. I'm not really going to do anything the rest of this episode. Okay. But she's like, this is so festive. This is such a great house. Kyle's like, this is a great house. I miss Buca de Beppo. Garcelle goes, Sutton, what are you drinking, honey? Well, this watermelon something. And Garcelle's like, oh, there's alcohol in it? Yeah, gotcha. Not a ton. And Doute's like, didn't you ask Sutton what she was drinking? And you asked, is there alcohol in it? Woo! And Sutton's like, oh, Doute, shut up. You're such a bitch. Or as Seth Mark says, biatch. That is wild, man. Doute dealing with her husband, who has alcohol issues and is going through a program, loves to throw out little jabs about, ooh, you asked if Sutton's drink got alcohol in it? Does the Pope shit in the woods? Of course it does. But Sutton takes it a step further and calls her a bitch. Sutton, very aggressive in a talking head, goes, Doute has never apologized for perpetuating a rumor or a myth that I have some sort of drinking problem. Listen, Doute, a lot of people perpetuated that. Also, you were carrying the like little pint of grapefruit juice in your purse because, we had a flashback to Kyle's kitchen in 2023. Doute says, Sutton is a drinker. I would not be surprised if she pours a little vodka in her coffee in the morning. Oh, gross. Pour whiskey in coffee. We have a flashback to the reunion where Doute goes, do I think that either one of us was insinuating that she has a drinking problem? And Andy's like, yeah, do you think she has one? I don't know. And Sutton's like, I think we can all say that I do not. And it's ridiculous. What I do have is I got problems with my feet. I can't feel my feet. I've got neuropathy. On these feet. Come on, that's my own problem. Sometimes I pour some alcohol on my feet to make it feel something. Sutton continues in a talking head angrily, which is really, really, 1, hurtful, 2, not true, and now she's just being a bitch. To be a bitch. Doute in the scene goes, but if you could do me a favor and not call me a bitch in my own home, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, like little Phoenix and Jagaloo are running around. Garcelle makes a face to Sutton, and Sutton's like, well, don't start with the vodka stuff. It's not nice. I'm going to go. And Doute goes, Sutton, I'm not looking to argue with you. It's America's birthday. Please. Red, white, and blue and all that shit. I just said don't call me a bitch in my home for fuck's sake. So the potty mouths are just everywhere. Like kids are, come on, we got a big pool slide. Son's like, I'm so sick of fighting with you. Thank you for having me, seriously. And she pops up to leave, and Doute's like, oh, I'll just call her a bitch and go. And Kyle's just like, please don't go. Come on, Sutton. And Sutton's like, why? He's not going to get anywhere with her. I'm not going to do this. I mean it. I'm leaving. If you want to get somewhere, try not to call someone a bitch. I love that Doute's all getting like Jersey, Oh, yeah, this is my house, bitch. You ain't going to do shit. Sutton stomps off. Kyle gets up and follows her. Garcelle also follows her. Garcelle's like, she's a little bit sensitive after the coffee and the vodka. She's a little sensitive. Can I get a little watermelon vodka, though? I'll be right back. She's like, but I'm still drinking. Doute's like, I'm a little sensitive, Garcelle. And a talking head, Doute goes, are you kidding me? Garcelle and Kyle are running after her. Not even a thought. Not even a consideration from either one of them. No. Run after little cry, baby. Make sure you have a drink in your hand. Beep, boop, bop, beep, boop, boop, boop. Doute to herself is like, oh, my lordy, have mercy. Kyle chasing Sutton to the front door like, can we talk? She sounds like Joan Rivers. Can we talk? Sutton's like, no. Can we just talk? Please talk 1 second. Can we talk 1 second? Sutton spins around. Garcelle's right behind them, goes, I know you didn't want to come, and you were the bigger person, and you came. Well, if she gonna do fucking this shit, come on. Garcelle in a talking head says, I get it. I haven't heard Sutton talk like this, but she's pissed. I've heard Sutton talk like, what are you talking about, Garcelle? Do you tune her out completely? Garcelle says, I think it was because she wasn't getting along with Doute, but she still wanted to take the high road. She came, and then this is how you're coming at her? I don't necessarily... I felt like this just got blown out of proportion, and this is such a minor, small thing. But I guess they're already so against each other that it's becoming more and more a thing. I just didn't think this was... I thought it was more Kyle and Doute. And I guess I just didn't... I don't know. And by the way, that's why the producers made Sutton the first one in, to have that awkward scenario, because they always stagger the entrances of the housewives. They would do that. Remember, like with Denise, when she was on the show on Beverly Hills, they would like have her come last, but you do that to like create the most dramatic tension you can. So having Sutton come first on that staggered entry completely worked, because it got him amped. Garcelle goes, listen, it was a bad joke. She's not great at jokes. And Sutton's like, she's not joking. And Bose and Lael and three of Lael's friends, yeah, just bring everybody, Bose. They come up, and Bose walks up and goes, excuse me, bitches. And Sutton immediately runs off. And Kyle's like, oh my God, wrong word. And Garcelle's like, that's not the word that we're going to start with today, because that just started a bunch of shit. And Bose is like, oh, you just started something? And Sutton's literally like hiding in a dark corner. She's like very triggered. And Garcelle goes, no, not me. Bose gives Kyle a hug. I'm like, wait, what? I was joking, but okay. Sutton freaking out in the corner. It's like Rain Man. Doute greets Bose with a hug. Oh my God, honestly, perfect timing, Bose. My favorite friend. I was waiting for normal and good energy and happy and all. Can I show you my body chain? Kyle over in the corner with Sutton going, can we try to hit the reset button maybe? And Sutton drops her mouth like, shakes her head and glares at Kyle. And Kyle's like, I know. Is this really this big of a deal? Garcelle goes, it was just a really bad joke. And Kyle goes, I know, you're sensitive. I understand. I get that. I know this feeling. And Sutton's now crying, what she did to me last year, what she put me through. Oh, no. If what she put you through last year is this, how did you include her on the sisterhood conversation where you tied everybody up with the little rope on the wrists at the beginning of the season? How did that even happen? What are we talking about here? Am I losing my mind? I feel like every time I cover Beverly Hills, I feel like I'm having some sort of internal stroke. Son goes, I was being nice by getting that nasty ass watermelon drink. So even the alcohol here isn't up to Sutton's standards. She's like, this tastes like shit. This is not ocean spray. You kidding me? And Garcelle goes, just hang with us for a minute. Let's go get another nasty drink. And Son goes, like, I am done. And she childishly grabs her gold star crown from her head and throws it to the floor. There, this would be a great thing for my reality show museum as well. She goes, fuck this thing. Fuck it. And Garcelle goes, well, I hope none of the kids get hurt with it. Well, I'll pick it up then. Kyle goes, I'm going to see where she's at. And Garcelle goes, will you be willing to talk to her? No, I'm not going to talk to her. No. Talk to her, girl. Son's like, I'm leaving. Go then leave already. I feel like I've been watching you leave for an hour. Leave. But if you leave, you should be docked pay, right? If you leave, unless it's like a really good, really, it's going to be the best part of the episode. But if you leave this early, people need to be docked pay. I hate to rule Housewives with an iron fist, but we gotta start drawing a line. You gotta stay. Kyle says, it's not lost on me that Sutton was berating me for leaving Bose's wellness stay, and now she wants to walk out. We have a flashback to Bose's wellness day where we remember Kyle crying and screaming in the robe. Fuck everybody, I'm done with this. And later at Kyle's apology dinner, Sutton's like, Kyle, it was a lot of a reaction. And I was like, I feel disappointed in Kyle that she's leaving this group like this. And Kyle's like, we all have had those moments, Sutton. We do. But that's, I guess, the beauty of Housewives is everybody on these shows is a gigantic hypocrite. They always are offended by behavior, and then they exhibit the same behavior. Kyle finishes in a talking head. It's funny how Sutton makes a lot of rules for everybody, but doesn't listen to any of the rules herself. I'm telling you, none of these women like each other. None of these women are friends. Garcelle's standing at the front door with Sutton. Kyle finds Doute, who is talking to Bose. Can I just talk to you for a second? I don't think she's going to stay without some encouragement from you, and I don't know if you want to do that or not. And Doute's like, it sounds like the two of you, more than anyone, are the people that are going to get her to stay. Certainly not going to be me. You keep calling me a bitch in my own home. I told her, do me a favor, don't do that. There's a sisterhood. Reminder of that. She's the one pledging the sisterhood. Using the sisterhood against Sutton. Sutton's like, oh, damn, I did say sisterhood. Damn it. In a talking head, Doute says, she called me a bitch. We know she called you a bitch. I should be kicking her out, but instead she's the victim. I wasn't the one that brought that up last year. We have a flashback to Kyle's dinner party in 2023 where Garcelle says, do you think there's something going on with Sutton? And Kyle says, I told her, I said, I don't know if this was your first drink or your fifth drink. So they're saying Kyle was the one that initially brought it up. And Doute finishes in the talking head, why are you making such a huge deal over a joke? Unless, of course, there's something very big underneath the surface. Ooh. Oh, God, I need to see Reba and Doute in a scene immediately. Oh, you're Doute. I've heard about you. Erica finally arrives. Erica's just like prancing around. Erica's loose this episode. She's got some new furniture. She's going to get a hot dog, her only hot dog of the year. So Erica's like easy breezy cover girl. Sutton's still at the door. Once again says, I'm not staying. I'm leaving. Erica's at the front door going, what's wrong? Nothing. You look cute. She's in like a short jean dress.
I'm just being slutty America.
And Kyle's like, hello, slutty American.
I have body makeup on, so...
And Sutton's like, I'm leaving. Yeah, I'm leaving. And Kyle's like, it's awkward already. Well, it's not good. And Erica's like,
what are you talking about?
I'm leaving. Say it one more time, Sutton. Say it one more time. I'm leaving. Kyle's like, we're trying to get her to stay. And Garcelle goes right out of the gate. Erica in a talking head goes,
oh my God, I haven't even got past the front door and somebody's already in tears. I don't want any of this. I just want a hot dog. Oh.
I'm so happy she didn't make a wiener joke.
I want a hot dog and a big old dog. Whoa.
Anyways, Erica's like, well,
something's going on, so tell me.
And Sutton goes, Doute brought up like the vodka thing, and I did not appreciate it. I don't want to perpetuate the myth, and I don't want to be around someone who's going to do that to me. I like the myth of Sutton Strike. The myth of Sutton Strike. And a big handle of vodka. The myth of Sutton Strike opens up a store named Sutton Concepts. Loves grapefruit juice in her purse. People say it's for her vodka drinks, but she just actually likes grapefruit juice by itself. At this moment, if you didn't think it would get any weirder, Kathy arrives because it's like, I heard there's a weird scene happening. I'm here. Hello. What a gorgeous group, everybody. All right. And Bose is like, is that Kathy? Why is everybody over there? Come on. Like, it is so stupid. And Doute goes, because that's what Sutton does. And Bose goes, well, I feel like I don't want to be left out now. I got to go into the room. So Bose, to everyone sitting at the front door, goes, can we enter the house? And Erica's like,
she's leaving, she said. She said it 100 times.
Sutton says it once again. I'm leaving. Erica jumps up.
My once-a-year hot dog. Yeah.
She hugs Bose and goes out back. So Erica's like, do whatever you want, Sutton. I see a hot dog. So Sutton's like, I'm not comfortable. Just leave already. This is the weirdest thing of like just somebody saying they're going to leave 1,000 times and never leaving. Garcelle holds Sutton's hands, snaps, goes, she was in. Meanwhile, in the backyard, Erica's like, Erica's just, her whole mission is hot dog. Erica's like,
hot dog. I'm just here to get a hot dog. Hot dog. I was going to grab.
And Doute's like, a drink? Food? And Erica's like,
yeah.
Doute goes, let's grab a quick drink. And Erica's like,
how about this watermelon coconut cola?
Well, that's what Sutton says is very nasty. Bose in the other room says to congregate here at the front door like Doute's hosting a party, guys. And Garcelle snaps, stop being Doute's spokesperson. There we go. Let's get into this right here. And Bose goes, I'm not Doute's spokesperson. And Garcelle's like, it looks like it. And Bose goes, it looks rude, all right? I mean, y'all want to coddle her, coddle her. You're going to coddle Sutton, do it. Bose in a talking head says, I'm pissed that these ladies don't have any couth. I mean, you got to have some couth. Don't be uncouth. Don't be all uncouth, as Luann would say. Bo says to at least get up and come into the party and behave like civilized people. Kyle, about Bo, says, my God. Garcelle has this weird alligator monster voice. She goes, what just happened? What just happened? Kyle in a talking head says, at this point, this is actually annoying to me. Once again, Bo's is Team Doute without knowing any backstory. I love it. It's like, if you knew backstory, you'd fucking hate Doute. Without knowing any backstory, and she just comes in automatically and defends Doute without knowing anything. You don't get to scold us. Kyle, sometimes we have new people that come into our lives that shine a spotlight on our own behavior, and it's uncomfortable, but we've got to let it happen. That's part of growing up. Bose is out back going, I just said no one needs to cuddle that woman. And Doute goes, you said that? Uh-oh, I just got a female boner. Woo! Bose says, yeah, because she's being coddled. You're the hostess of the party, Doute, and it looks rude for everybody to be over there when they could actually be over here. And Doute's like, the lack of empathy, support, grace. And Bose goes, it's so weird. Or even sheer kindness. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a vile human. Don't be a douche. Dude, I think like douche was like vernacular we would say in like middle school a lot. But I'm glad that like Doute's bringing it, but don't be a douche. And by the way, if Lisa Barlow did this on Salt Lake City, you bet your sweet bippy that Lisa Barlow would have like a douche brand sponsorship by the end, like, I'm Lisa Barlow for douche. Like Doute should be like, oh, hello, I'm Doute Kemsley. Sometimes I get angry, and when I do, I don't need to douche. But if I do, I like to use douche. Like, like a fancy douche. I'm probably saying douche too much now. Inside, Sutton is still not left. Sutton's like, I have ruined this and I'm going to leave. And Garcelle goes, no, you haven't ruined it. Well, yeah, you kind of are. Like, now you what? Sutton's like, yeah, no, I'm out. Yeah, it's been 3 hours of me saying I'm leaving. I should probably just go. Party's over. Sutton in the talking head says, I want to leave right now. I've had it with Doute. She has gone after me for a year. And to be honest, I'm sorry that your businesses have failed. I say, and mine has not. I'm sorry you can't have a clean divorce, and I have. I'm sorry for all of your problems. Your problems are not my problems, and I do not want to be your punching bag. I am tired of it. Did Sutton close her store and just like an online store now? Anyways, that's not important. Sutton gets driven off. And remember Lauren Clayton, who was on Tuesday's episode, she's like a behavioral therapist. We had a really interesting conversation, but she talked about narcissists. And narcissists will always kind of come back and gaslight you when they get mad. And that could be a little bit of what we're seeing with Sutton. Is Sutton a narcissist? Obviously, we overuse the word narcissist. We label everything and everybody a narcissist these days, but narcissists actually exist. Is Sutton a narcissist? And do we not really notice it because a lot of the other women are potentially narcissists as well? Kathy in the scene goes, did she really leave? Garcelle goes, can I at least get a hot dog? They go outside, get food. Kids are playing. I mean, the kids look white as ghosts because they've heard so much cursing. They're like, little Jagaloo's like, Mommy, what's a douche? Kathy goes, I brought a swimsuit with me thinking we were going to go swimming. Rick goes, that swimsuit is way out of line. It was a crotchless swimsuit. Erica goes,
I love it that he says that.
They all sit. Erica goes,
where is she?
Garcelle goes, she left.
Why?
Garcelle goes, because she didn't feel welcomed here. And Doute goes, how am I supposed to feel in my own home that she called me a bitch? Garcelle goes, well, you led the charge with, of course, there's vodka in her drink. And Bose goes, but does that equal calling her a bitch? Kathy is fanning herself like, oh my God, it's so hot in the valley. This is why I don't like to live where poor people live. My God. And she also she has this handheld battery operated fan, and Doute's like, seriously? And Bose goes, that's a good question. Somebody walks into my house and calls me a bitch. Those are fighting words. And Garcelle, not happy with the direction of this conversation. Kathy's like, I don't think any of us are mean girls. Well, to be honest, I haven't really thought about it. Maybe I'm just used to it. Who knows? Bose says, that's it. You are conditioned. Doute goes, I'm going to go check on my babies and the other guests. I'll be right back. Check out my little babies, Jagaloo and Phoenix. Erica's like,
where's my one kosher hot dog for the year?
She goes up to find it, and Kyle's like, I hope they save me a hot dog. even though I don't like hot dogs anymore. Get it? Wink. Garcelle yells out, can I get another watermelon drink, please? Kyle's like, I'm ready to drink. Bose goes, look, I think it's great that you're all there to support, but I think, again, in the spirit of sisterhood, LOL, can we all rally around her? Can we talk? Garcelle goes, where's your spirit of sisterhood when you come over and called us rude? And Bose goes, that's actually being a sister. That's actually telling you to check yourself. And Garcelle goes, I feel like every time you are telling us what to do about Doute, and when you don't know the whole situation either. And Bose goes, well, let me just put it in relative terms, right? I am calling things as I see them. And Garcelle's now getting pissed. Garcelle's like, oh, so are we. Erica has found her kosher hot dog. Did you see this thing? She loaded this up. A bunch of pickles, a bunch of dill pickles on this hot dog. Did you see this thing? And Erica's looking at this thing like it was Tom Girardi in his prime. Like,
I'm going to take this down to Chinatown. Whoa.
She's like going to mac on this thing, but like a lot of crazy shit on this hot dog. And I love that somebody is finally getting Garcelle's goat because, Garcelle, every time her and Doute got into a fight, Garcelle's like, oh, God, it's so easy to fight with Doute. It's so easy. But I think there's a little bit of a challenge with Bose. And I think it's interesting. I'm curious to see if the lid is kept on this or if it'll explode at a certain point. Not in this episode, but down the line. So Erica just like making love to this hot dog. And Erica in a talking head goes,
all right, Garcelle, who's been Sutton's spokesperson since she got here a few years ago?
We have a flashback to 2022 at Garcelle's birthday party. Remember? Diana Jenkins. I am Diana Jenkins. I am Diana. It kind of sounds like my Doute, but it was a different time. Sutton in this scene was like, I was very sorry about her being on bed rest. And Diana's like, your sorry is so fake. It's fake, fake. You're fake. You're fake. And Garcelle's like, Diana, that's kind of shitty. Are you her bodyguard? I don't need a bodyguard. And then at 2023 at Crystal's Taco Tuesday event, and Dout's like, you made out with your driver, Sutton? And Garcelle goes, wait, hold on a minute. That was between me, Erica, and Sutton. And now I feel like you're saying it to embarrass her. But it still is wild to think about that. Sutton made out with her driver. Like, that's like an HR issue. Like, she made out with her driver? Erica, where's that? By the way, if that scene was in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, automatic Emmy. Automatic Emmy. Like, let's see your real weird shit. Like, I want to see the conversation where Sutton decides, yeah, I'm going to make out with my driver. You know what? I pay him. Why can't I make out with him? I want to see that scene. Erica continues in a talking head.
It's okay for Garcelle to defend Sutton, but Bose can't defend Doute. Everybody needs to quit feeling so threatened by the Bose and Doute friendship. Let people get along.
Say that to Garcelle. Don't say it in a talking head. Garcelle tells Bose, it just seems like you're one-sided. Bose says, I'm not. And Bose is so unthreatened, she's like, no, I'm not. Garcelle practically screaming, did you not say that she hasn't been welcoming to you? And Kyle's like, zoiks? Bose goes, yeah, it's not that I think she's a cold-hearted bitch. I'm just like, we haven't connected. Kyle's like, so funny that you said that because I actually felt the complete opposite. I feel like I've never had a stronger connection with anybody in my life. The times that we have spent together that I actually did feel like we had a great connection, even a bigger connection than me and Mo and me and Morgan. And we have some flashbacks of their connecting, just them being nice. It's fine. Kyle to Bose says, I was really surprised to hear that, and it hurt my feelings, what you said to Kathy. And Bo says, well, part of the reason I asked Kathy about this is I just thought that you were a cold person and didn't want to know me. I wouldn't have asked shit. I feel that I've had very deep conversations with almost everybody. I haven't necessarily had that with you. And so that feeling for me is like, oh, Kyle's a little distant. She's a little cold. Kyle, not happy with this, makes the frowny face and sarcastic face, like, while Bose is talking and looks at everybody like, can you believe this? I'm the softest. I'm the best. Are you kidding? I connect with everybody. People ask me to you're connecting too hard. That's how good I am at connecting. Bose in a talking head says the vibes aren't vibing with Kyle. She has not opened up to me about anything that's going on in her life. There is no warmth. So I really don't know what to do with that. There's nothing to do. I don't have anything to work with. Give me some vibes. I love that Kyle potentially will now start to try to impress Bose. Hey, Bose. Am I vibing? Am I giving you some vibes? Let's do this. Can I tell you about my deepest, darkest secrets? Kyle's going to have to tell her a big secret to try to win Bose over. So Bose finishes the talking head, goes, so I don't know anything but her being sharp. Kyle in the scene says, I feel that I was maybe being singled out because of what was going on with Doute and me. And Bose goes, no, because you got to know her first, that you have a loyalty automatically. I love that Kyle's like, she got to you first. If you got to me first, you would think I was the best, but Doute did it. She got there first. But Bose is like, no, that's not it at all. Kyle's like, it's very clear how you came and scolded us out there, even though you said that you don't have preconceived ideas. Your actions say otherwise. I can't believe this is a fucking conversation. This is so kindergarten right now. Bo says, I am not somebody who is led. And Kyle's like, I know you say that, but it feels differently. And they're all just sitting on this back patio. And I will say, this is where I feel like Erica's just like staring at this hot dog. Like she kind of seems like a little out of it, kind of checked out. Garcelle's a little checked out. Kathy's a little checked out. Like we're putting all these people on the clock. We're paying them. Like, let's get like a group fight going. We like somebody full body tackles somebody, but it was like really just a weirdly undynamic fight. Did you guys feel that as well? Or I don't know. Kyle in a talking head goes, Bose has 100% been biased against me. Of course she does not want to admit to that because that would seem juvenile. And I've never been juvenile. Ha! But that's what's happened. In the scene, Kyle goes, I feel like you're a little hard on me. Uh-oh, somebody's playing the victim. Bose goes, really? Yeah, I do. In what way? Well, like in the conversations, Bose goes, we haven't spoken. How would I be hard on you? In the Viper Room when you said, put your phone down, block PK. We flash back to that moment in the Viper Room a month earlier where Bose says, I definitely was like, oh shit, that's breaking of the girl code. Remember the memes in the texts? Kyle's like, but we always laughed about it. And Bose goes, how about we pick up the phone and block him? I mean, it's a little rude, but not like DEFCON level 10. That's an actual DEFCON level. Kyle says, I already felt like, okay, Judge Judy, you've never even met PK. And she laughs. Doute goes, why does she need to meet him? Kyle's like, I'm talking to her right now about the situation. And then Doute's like tagging in, about my life? I can chime in about my life. I just imagine like Jaglu and Phoenix are like, Mommy, are you guys talking about you and Daddy? And what's going on? Should you guys go into a private room? All my friends are here. This is weird. Bo says, I'm not unduly trying to like Heisman you. You know, the Heisman trophy? Boom. And Erica does this weird little Heisman move. Like, But she's like, I'm not trying to Heisman you, push you out because I'm being led by Doute. You know I'm not. But I've been sharing so much. I've shared with you one-on-one in the group. How much more do I have to share? Doute to Kyle goes, I don't even know what's going on with you right now, Kyle. And Kyle just stares at Doute. What are you talking about? I don't. I literally thought to myself. And Kyle yells, I can't back up every little thing. It's so annoying. Garcelle laughs, and Erica is finished with her hot dogs. So she's like, she belches. She doesn't, but I was trying to get a better belch than that. Erica in a talking head goes,
I can only last so much longer, I'm telling you. And I have stamina. This shit is exhausting.
It's got to be. She's like, Erica legitimately just came for a free hot dog. And she's really not participating in the scene. So I feel like skedaddle. Kyle to Doute says, she could literally say anything to you and you're all over her ass. It's actually gross now. Stop. I'm having a conversation with her and everything she says, you have to back up. And Doute goes, I didn't back anything. She just said up. I've been sitting there quiet. Kyle starts dramatically shaking her head up and down like, you're like this. Yep. Come on. Kyle's the juvenile one. Doute's like, you're a douche. Kyle in a talking head says, Doute just does not know when to not talk. This is between Bose and me. I'm trying to clear Bose. We're in a good place now, Doute. Can you just leave it be? You don't have to be up her ass 24/7. Kyle yells at Doute, you know I'm separated from my husband. I'm married for 20 years, with him for 30 years. What does that have to fucking... And Doute's like, do you need to scream? And Kyle keeps going, we have 4 children. Do you need to scream? What else do you want to know? Do you need to scream? And then Garcelle screams, she's not screaming. And Doute goes, oh, oops, my bad. Kyle goes, I will lower my voice. What else do you need to know? What else? That's a lot. Erica rolls her eyes. She's feeling the hot dog now. It's like,
it was a mistake to put all those dill pickles on the hot dog. I am feeling pressed.
Doute puts her fist in her own mouth to keep the words from spilling out. And Doute's like, from the beach. from Garcelle's house. Didn't we start fresh and clean, or are we going back, Kyle? Tell me now, because I need to know. Are we going back? We had a beach talk. We have a flashback to that beach 2 weeks earlier where Dourite's like, what I would like to see is we get back to a place where we're able to have conversations, feel comfortable telling one another how we feel. And Kyle's like, yeah, I'd like that too. Kyle's like, whatever, yeah. And Dourite's like, start earning back trust. Back in this scene, Kyle says, I want to start fresh and clean, Dourite. Okay, but I thought that we decided that on the beach at Garcelle's house. And Kyle's like, yeah, and I still consider it that. And Dourite shakes her head. It feels like I'm being clawed at, Kyle. I understand, and I want to start from scratch, okay? How did we get, we went from the bows to like, yeah, no, friendship good with us, Dourite, totally. The trust is going to have to start from scratch from both of us. We're at like zero trust, but we'll start it from scratch. Both of us, okay? We both have to build from scratch, okay? But can we take down bows together? But I mean that. From the beach, we are starting fresh and clean, okay? This is like, they're just repeating. It's like Sutton repeating, I'm leaving. She's repeating the same things. It's like they have the thinnest, I mean, there's relationship stuff here and fights, but it just feels so thin, right? And I guess I'm still just thinking about how badass this season of Salt Lake was, but it just feels thin. Do you feel that at all? I love that I'm about to cry. Do you guys feel that? Kyle and I talking, Ed says, it's important for me to move forward with Dourite. It is annoying sometimes. Is it annoying and extremely frustrating sometimes? Yes, it is. Like right now, but I want to be in a better place with her, so I will take a breath and reset. Dourite says, you and I are working our way back to a place that I would really like for us to be. Me too. But obviously, we're both going to be very, let's take this slow. Kyle flaps her hand fan and goes, yes. Kathy is just sitting there. I love it. Kathy's just like, oh my God, do. Dourite in a talking night goes, I feel like Kyle and I have already done this dance. If we're going to do the dance over and over and over, then I'm doing exactly what I did in my marriage, which is not something I want to do. So if Kyle and I can go from having a little bit of a disagreement to her saying she wants to work on our friendship, I'm going to take it. I need peace. Kyle gives Dourite a hug. I want you to know that I love you a lot, you little douche. Kathy pipes up, yes, you do. You do love her. And then Bo's to Kathy goes, don't interpret for them. Uh-oh. Don't come for Kathy, Bo. That's where you might have gone too far. You know, Kathy goes, oh, Rick, we might have to call that assassin that we know. Bo's tried to step to me at Dourite's rental. Kathy goes, you're right. I don't want no trouble. Bo's is laughing, going, you might get in trouble. Kyle looks at Dourite. I'm going to go inside for a minute. And Dourite's like, yes, I'll come inside too. Ooh, it is my house. I'll come with you. Kathy in a talking head goes, with this group, let's not make mountains out of molehills? Molehills? Is that right? Molehills out of mountains? Whatever it is. Do you get what I mean? Do you get what I mean? I see sometimes I can't tell if Kathy is really this daft or if she's just doing the biggest Andy Kaufman character ever. Like, I feel like Kathy's like, I fucking know what molehills are. Are you kidding me? Oh, they ate that shit up in the talking head like butter. Hunky-dory this, hunky-dory that. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like she totally is probably the smartest person there. And she just does this, like, Oscar-level character. So Kyle and Dourite go inside the house. And Kathy's like, should we leave them alone? And Erica's like, yeah. By the way, Juliana left a note here after I just said that to you, but she's like, didn't the outdoor conversation seem so disjointed? It did. Thank God it did seem so disjointed. That was my thing. It seemed like it started with Bose and Kyle, then goes over to Kyle and Dourite, and then all of a sudden I'm like, let's go inside. What? It was so weird. We didn't even have clarification with Bose and Kyle. Then Bose says something to Kathy of like, don't step in. It's so weird. Dourite and Kyle now go upstairs, which I'm like, what is going on? We're going to the bed. We're going to the boudoir. Nice. Dourite goes, I'm telling you, Kyle, this is me trying to get my life together, trying to get rid of things, trying to organize. I can't catch my breath. And it literally looks like that show Hoarders on A&E. No, it doesn't look that bad, but I guess it does look messy. It does upstairs. There are clothes and shoes and empty clothes racks everywhere. And Kyle's like, this is making me feel better. I have been so disorganized. Every time they have a shot at Kyle's place, never disorganized at all. Like, she's like putting things on hangers, but never disorganization like this. And Dourite goes, oh, Kyle, I have just given up. I've thrown the towel in. I don't even wipe my own butt anymore. It's too much. Kyle in a talking head says, Doute is extremely meticulous. I'm really surprised to see this sort of mess in all these boxes. It's really showing me what a shithole where she is in her life, honestly. And I know that feeling when you have so much going on in your life, you can tell by your home, which also feels like understanding, but it feels like a dig at Doute at the same time, right? So Kyle, they're sitting in this little couch in Doute and PK's room where the magic happens. And they're looking at this dead orchid. Like there's a dead orchid on the coffee table. And Kyle's like, I can see you've given up on your OCD. Ha! Little dig. Doute's like, okay, literally, I don't even see it. I didn't even notice that was dead, Kyle. By the way, PK's dead in the corner. Oh, that's why he hasn't called. I didn't realize he's been here the whole time. Oh, shit. So bloated. Oh. But, sorry, Doute goes, that's how I know I'm not myself. It's like my mind, my brain is just, oh my God. And Kyle's like, well, Mo, when he left, I decided to use part of his closet. I went into the closet and I have not come out yet. I don't know why I just use all of his closet now. I was just taking a little bit of it at first because it felt weird. And Doute's like, when you even take a little bit, it's like, well, in the beginning, it's like separation. You don't know what it really means. You know what I mean? And then you're like, well, I'll just borrow a little bit of this space. Doesn't Kyle have like 30 closets at her house? Like, I get the symbolism and all that stuff, but like, you could just walk to the next door room. You have like, anyways, it's not for this. We'll talk about that later. Doute goes, you guys started what you said you were going to separate 6 months and then look at it, right? Yeah, and then I think when he started buying the furniture, instead of having the house staged, I was like, oh, he's buying furniture. How do you feel? I mean, that's what I ask myself every day. It feels like we're family, but do you want to be back together? Right now, I just want to take this time too, but I'm not doing anything with the time. I don't understand what you're supposed to get after 6 months. I think maybe that was just an easy way to say, what do you say, I'm leaving for a year? I don't know, to ease the, well, do you want a divorce? I'm not going to stay like this. Do you want a divorce? So if we're not going to get back together, we're going to get a divorce, yes. Do you want to get back together? Isn't this supposed to be a little bit more? Like, literally, we see, like, Doute's, like, upstairs is in shambles, and Kyle's like, let me tell you about myself. But Doute loves it. It's, like, connecting and friendship and all that. Kyle goes, right now, that's not going to happen, us getting back together. She won't fully answer the questions on camera. Kyle in a talking head goes, Mo and I, we have been both in denial about the situation that we're in, and we go about our lives like we're still family because we are. But the time is flying by, and anytime it comes up, he'll say things like, it's way too soon. It's way too soon to be thinking about divorce, Potato. Don't get ahead of ourselves. So I definitely feel like I am in limbo. But also because he's like, I'm literally trying to hide money in offshore accounts. Please give me more time. I am trying to hide money, Kyle. Please, I need time to hide the money from you. Kyle's like, I would like to do what they're doing, going off and doing. I think she's referring to like PK and Mo, doing their boy fun time. I just don't know how to do that, to be honest. Doute's like, what do you mean? We have to just live. We have to live, Kyle. But why are we doing this? Well, I haven't been able to catch my breath. Same. Totally same. It's not the same. Kyle's been doing this for a long time. Doute goes, you don't understand. I would choose to be in this situation? No. To tell you the truth, I wouldn't. Same, Doute, same. Doute in a talking head goes, I think PK has lived with the thought of separating. He was mentally ready when he separated, whereas it kind of took me by surprise, and I still feel like I'm digesting it all. Kyle's like, I never imagined I'd be in this position in a million years. I don't think anybody does, right? I've been married. I didn't think that was going to end in a divorce. Like, you don't think about these things. Like, you go in, I don't know. Yeah, you don't know. Doute goes, but I'm here. It's all fucking weird, Kyle. Doute in a talking head goes, it feels like old times. We are leaning on one another. I've kind of missed it. Oh, I miss Kyle. Doute says, Kyle, listen, if the man wants a divorce, we're getting a divorce. It can't stop it. Does PK say divorce now? He's mentioned divorce, but only in a threatening way. What, not in a fun way? He's never mentioned divorce in a fun, goofy way, just a threatening way. Kyle goes, well, let me ask you a question. When you're not with him, do you like your independence? No, I haven't had it yet, Kyle. We're in the exact same situation. That's because we're both stagnant. Oh, we need how Doute and Kyle got their groove back. We need that episode. Dorit's like, I think he's 50 steps ahead of me. That big, bloated, fat alcoholic is 50 steps ahead of me at all times, and I need to catch up. I just need to know. Kyle's like, you think he wants to get divorced? Well, we're not getting back together anytime soon. That I can tell you. And by the way, Kyle, I would like a minute to just think what I want. It's so weird, though. Like, I feel like people in a different tax bracket have different types of relationships than I'm used to. Like, how would you be like all of a sudden away from your partner for months and be like, well, we're not divorced. I might get back together with him, but not yet. Like, aren't you integral in each other's lives? Doute goes, I don't know what he's doing. If he's out there acting like a single man and dating. Hello, it's me, VK, on the dating scene. 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. Let's do it. All right. Hey, this is my friend Boy George, and this is my other friend Mo. Are you ready to get freaky? We like your style. Kyle says, well, I think we would know. It's kind of hard to do that in our world, right? If they were just dating, we would know. And Doute goes, I don't know. Who knows what PK is up to in good old Cheerio London? And then we hear a boom. 1 week later pops up on the screen. A news announcer. Actually, this is Adam from Up and Adam. Mauricio Umansky was caught with a mystery woman. The real estate mogul touched down in Mykonos, Greece Tuesday, where he was photographed collapsing into the arms of a hot blonde wearing a sheer cover-up over a dark bikini. And then we hear phone ringing, and Erica FaceTimes Kyle. And Kyle's like, how are you? And Erica's like,
Did you know this was coming?
and Kyle's like, not at all. It's weird. I don't really know how I am. Next time on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we have Garcelle on FaceTime with Sutton. Did you see the photos of Mauricio in Greece at the airport with the girl with no clothes on? And then a scene with Jennifer Tilly going, I'm half Chinese like Kathy Hilton. And Erica's like,
Yeah, I'm 10% native.
and Jennifer's like, we always wanted to be Native American because we love Cher. And Erica goes,
But she's Armenian from the valley.
and then a scene with Sutton and Doute, and Sutton's like, you need to pick on somebody else's whose wallet fits. And Erica goes,
You think you're bigger than her?
and Sutton goes, I think my wallet is. Oh, so we're going to start bringing financial situation. I'm richer than you are. I feel like Sutton's going down a dark path, and I just need her to pump the brakes. Because Sutton's not good at a fight, man. She's going to like cause something that she is not ready for. Anyways, what did you guys think of this episode? I give it low 7, 6.8, 7. It was good. I mean, it was good. It wasn't great. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys have the best Thursday ever. Thank you for your support of this show and me. And come back for the Summer House recap on Friday. We'll talk a little Southern Charm. We'll tell you what to watch for the weekend. And then we got our Traders recap with Bergie on Saturday. So a lot of good stuff to look forward to. But I hope you had fun with me today. Thank you for letting me be all silly and goofy and stupid. And thank you to Juliana Carrozza for the notes. Bye, guys.